Kevin, what's been going on with you? You're doing a lot. Can you kind of like share what you've been doing with the videos and everything, and how that is all going? Because that's really cool. You're really being active with that.
Well, I'm just playing with all the different ways that I can to sort of present it, I guess. I'm utilising my Crazy Talk application quite a lot. So that's all the strange little creatures you see popping up all over Facebook and YouTube. Hamsters and cats and various other assorted animals. I see that quite a few people like to share Dwayne's what he writes on Facebook, his groups every day, and I think one time several months ago I tried to use that robotic voice, you know, the one that if you write it in a little box and it translates it, and there's an automatic voice that reads out, but I couldn't really get along with that technology. I found it very hard to put in the words correctly to make it say what I wanted, so I abandoned that, and more recently I thought I'd have another go at it, but using a hamster instead, and it seems to come out okay. And yeah, I'm just carrying on sort of putting out old Skypes and stuff and such and things of that nature, really. Yeah. So I still can't get my the radio show that I do on every other Sunday. I still can't get to do it live for some reason. I don't seem to be able to connect in, so I have to upload mine, but it still works, I suppose. And then I translate that and stick that on YouTube as well. So
You're talking about Blog Talk Radio?
yeah, I can't get that to work for me, try as I might. Strangely enough, the first time that I did it, it worked fine, and then the subsequent times after that, I was unable to. So I just, since then, I was uploading it. I've been uploading it live, so but I suppose it still works in that regard. I still get the shows on there. And I'm doing my Dream Explorers as well, that I've been doing as well every 2 weeks, which is basically I take all the dream experience, the real side experiences that I've had, and I put them into almost like a story, and interweave it with narrative that joins it all together. So it sounds a bit more listener friendly. I've been poking that on YouTube as well.
With the host ID, you do that part, right?
Yeah, I call in via my computer, and as I say, I can't remember exactly what went wrong with it now, but after several attempts, it seems that we will call in, but there's either a situation where we can't seem to go live, or it just doesn't record, one or the other. So.
And you set up the show beforehand, right? You rate the episode.
Yeah, I did it exactly as it was
Okay.
explained to me, and I mean, the first time I did it, it worked fine, so that made no sense as to why I wouldn't be able to do it after that. But I haven't tried it for a while. Maybe I'll have another go. I don't know. But for the last several months, I've simply been uploading ones. I've been recording them on my Filmora and putting them to file, changing the format so it's compatible with the Blog Talk Radio, which is usually whatever it is, MP4 or something, and uploading it that way.
Okay. Wow, you're doing a lot, and it's fun stuff. And it's getting around Facebook, so that's really cool.
Yeah, I've dropped a couple of days at work as well, because up until now I've been working Monday to Friday, and I've figured out the finance that they are, I can afford to drop 2 of the days. So now I'm only working Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which will give me a little more time. So,
Very cool.
yeah, because that job was virtually killing me, I think. I mean, the Wi-Fi in the UK is very heavy at the moment, and particularly in the places of work and such. I mean, I was really feeling it, and it was really draining me to the extent that I would come home and I'd be in almost a complete zombified vegetative state. And yeah, and it's quite scary, really, because I'll come home from work, and I'll just sit there, and I just feel like a shell, sort of thing, and I can't do anything creative in that state. I just have to go to bed and wait for the effects to dissipate.
What kind of work was it you were doing?
Oh, I just work in a regular store, but practically every store or any public place, as you will know, is absolutely washed with the Wi-Fi. And I wouldn't say I'm particularly electrosensitive, but enough that I can feel if there's differences or if they've ramped it up or something. And I'd say they've certainly done something funny to it recently. Interesting, my house is actually a Wi-Fi free zone, which is strange because at one point when they insisted we needed to have Wi-Fi in here, they simply couldn't get it installed, and they were rather puzzled about that, seeing as every other house in the street seemed to be able to accept it. So we've still got the cables here, so this may be the only safe haven in the universe.
Mm-hmm. We've got a friend here that's EMF sensitive too, and he's always. I mean, we built the pyramids out of PVC pipe. Henry did, basically half-inch PVC, and Dwayne has a little one over his desk chair, hung from the ceiling. I sleep with one. It's about maybe 5 feet tall, and I put it over my bed. And then we have a bigger one that's like fits over a chair. We sit under it outside. But it's basically, I guess it's scalar energy, but it kind of cleans the space. It's kind of interesting because this fella, a friend of ours, he's tried so many things, and he's really knowledgeable about health too. But he's tried, everything, supplements, kind of energy work, everything, crystals, just everything you think of. And this one actually kind of helps him. It calms him down because he's actually shaking. So sitting under this for like 5-10 minutes calms his shakes down. Just a PVC pipe put together with the base is built out of like little couplings that support the three laterals going up into a point, and the point is tied together, and it's just like a little pyramid power, so all kinds of things out there.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that I can see that if they do start to blanket the 5G globally, the worldwide, I think it will render people completely ineffectual because even though it won't affect the real awareness, it will certainly affect the physical body to the extent that you certainly won't be capable of being very creative or or able to share to the same extent that you were, sort of thing.
Yeah, get ready. And they got all kinds of angles, the 5G, the earthquakes here, they got a lot of, HARP. They got a lot of angles going. They can do a lot of funny business, put stuff in the chemtrails, viruses, and it's just a matter of what they're going to come up with and what they see. Yes. But they're going to pay for it. I mean, the way things are going with what we're doing with the galactic, projects, they're gonna pay, a heavy price for their trying to control people, make them do stuff, and make them ill, and keep that control going. It won't be easy for them either. So, Sandy, you're here? Are you here?
Yeah, Sandy's here. I'm here.
Okay. Well, maybe you could say just a few words. What, you don't have to do detail, but how are you doing, and what's going on over there in Wisconsin? You got any earthquakes over there, or flooding? Flooding?
Luckily not.
Okay, you got the flooding, don't you, or the cold, or
What we have, Val, is a very differentiation in temperature. One day it'll be in the 90s, and then the night goes down to like in the 40s, and it's hard on the body. So that's kind of what's going on here. We've had a lot of rain. Thankfully, it rained out our 4th of July celebration by the city. They got about 3 booms off, and then it started pouring. So that was a good thing. We don't need that stuff going in the atmosphere.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I see people posting on Facebook about the animals who leave, the birds leaving their young, their nests. They just get freaked out and they just abandon their nests and just
Oh.
they're totally stressed. These little squirrels and birds, they don't know what's going on. They just get, they have no idea. Once a year, this happens all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And most of the time here in Wisconsin, they do them over lakes. So not only does the atmosphere get it, but the lake gets the cast off from the explosions.
Mm-hmm.
So we get double here. I know the wild animals don't do well with those horrific noises, nor do your pets. I know my neighbor has a dog next door, and she said as soon as she heard those 3 booms, she just went crazy and barking and went nuts in the house. Now mine didn't do much. Tiffany just kind of sat there, played with her toys. But a lot of these, all the animals are affected by it. All of them. You think of a little hummingbird or something like that. Imagine what it does to them.
Yeah, when the earthquakes went off, my birds freaked, and they freaked for a long time, even if I was talking to them. But when I've seen earthquakes in the daytime, birds would fly up out of the trees, and these guys are in cages, so they were stuck. And all day today, they were half sleeping and just resting, which is unusual for them.
Yeah, what kind of birds do you have?
Cockatiels, remember?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, and I raised them at one time myself. I love them.
Yeah.
They can put up quite a commotion.
Yeah. Yeah, they're real quiet now, and this is the time they're usually squawking away.
They have to rest after that trauma.
Yeah, they were traumatized.
Yeah, they are traumatized. They certainly are. It's much, much worse than thunder.
Yeah. And all the booms have been all week, practically.
Oh, yeah, I know. We have neighbors who celebrate for a week or two, and then a week after,
Oh, no.
Yeah, so that's kind of what's happening in our neck of the woods as far as weather goes. It's either hot and you can't stand it, or it's cold. So,
Can you give us an idea, just a hint about the galactic projects? Anything going on with that, and how it's going to affect people, or?
well, there's a lot going on with it. We are dealing with aliens from other planets, and the bad ones are basically put away, and we're dealing with the good ones, and they're Draconians and the Syrians and the Orions and the Archons rather. I'm getting tongue twisted here. And so we're working with all of them, and they are helping us get the Earth back into shape again.
Now it's interesting. The Archons are from the deep dark border. Is that correct?
Yes, they are.
I didn't know anybody was there. So how does that work? I mean, this is a deep. Is there? I didn't know life existed in there.
Yeah, it does, and they are kind of encased in a big. I want to call it a bubble, but it's not a bubble. It's a big planet, but it's circular, and they have like little circular. I don't want to call it a vehicle, but it's not that they even are in their planets, and they're about 9 feet tall. They're rather almost ethereal, light body type looking, but they do have blue eyes. Everything is telepathic with them. I know there's a lot written about them where they're not very nice. They're baddies of the baddies, but that's not the case. That's not what they are at all. They've come here to help.
So they step forward voluntarily. Is that what you're
Yes,
saying? Okay.
yes, they do, or they did. And Claudia contacted them first, and then later I began dealing with them. And she is too. We all are.
Hey, who are the, which ones are the bad aliens?
Well, they, as you know, in our culture, our human form, there are good and bad and everything. So a lot of the reptilians were the baddies. There are some good ones out there who are willing to step up and help. Because basically they've been hogwashed too. They were doing things a lot of times against their will. So they were captive in their own race also. So once we got rid of the Orion Queen and the King and Enki and Enlil, those guys out of the way, then their whole planet changed. Orion changed. And we find that there's a lot of half-breeds there who are working with us, and they want to do a good job. And of course, the Syrians have always been nice. I'd be hard put to find one that wasn't. But the Syrians move everything by telepathy and telepathy. I'm tongue-tied, see, today. And they're helping us also. And the Archons, the Draconians, the Pleiadians are helping. I met the ruler and his wife, and he looks. He's got blonde hair and blue eyes, and he's nice and tall, and he's rather good looking. But his wife is from another planet, and she has. I call him Aaron, and she's Bella, and she has almost like blue tentacles, but fat around her head, almost like a hat. She's rather different looking, but she's nice, and they both stepped up to help us with whatever we need.
So they can move around rather freely between physical and astral. Is that correct?
Yes, in a heartbeat.
Okay. Whereas we're dumbed down here, everybody, pretty much.
Yeah, we're dumbed down, and we're thinking we can't do that. The list goes on.
And technology-wise, most of these that you're talking about are more advanced than we are.
Oh, they are so much more advanced. Their IQ is like 10,000 versus ours. If you're genius level, you're 160 or 140 and above. So do the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have, and everything is telepathic. Syrians, Orions, Pleiadians sometimes talk. Now the Archons, completely telepathic. I have not heard them speak at all.
Does anybody have any questions for Sandy or Bob?
Yeah, Bob.
We don't want to leave out Bob here. I know you're Bob. You're here.
Hey, so do you guys have your own, like web page? You post all this kind of stuff? This is for Bob's. I don't want to feel left out.
No. No, we just let Val and Kelsey post whatever we do, or the talk show. And by the way, we did one on Tuesday, right? Does everybody know we did a blog talk, or it's a blog talk radio show on Tuesday? Everybody hear that one?
I did.
Yep.
Well, I guess Kelsey made a YouTube and put all the video, added a bunch of video to it. A lot of
pictures.
a lot of pictures and tons of additional information written by Dwayne during the YouTube video, where you can pause it and then read what he wrote. And she did a fabulous job. And you know, we just watched it a couple hours ago. We watched the whole thing, and it was
1 hour.
It was an hour ago. Anyway, Kelsey and did just a fabulous job on that YouTube. I mean, it's, if you haven't seen it, I
recommend it.
I highly recommend it. And Val, you did, like I said, you did such a fantastic job on that talk show. I mean,
was great.
It was really wonderful.
You think I could fit in with these aliens you're talking about?
Oh, absolutely.
By the way, did you hear what happened to me when during that blog talk show?
Yeah, you went into the other levels you mentioned, right? You want to talk about?
Right. Yeah, when you were saying there is so much more to life. I mean, we're just seeing a tiny little bit, but there is so much more to life. There is the way you put it, there is so much, so many layers and levels. My vision was open, and I saw all of creation. I saw the physical, and I saw each one of the levels, the astrocosmos, all the different planes, and I could just like see, like on the mental plane, I can see the Kalam God and all them operating in the mental plane, and I can see how the reptilians go back and forth through the different levels with no problem whatsoever. And then I saw the deep dark border, and then I saw 5 to 10 layers, levels above and beyond the deep dark border, and that all flashed to me as a vision as you were saying how much more there is to life.
It's so neat how we can see into the now. You know, we get these glimpses, and it's just very encouraging and inspirational to me, at least. You know, to be able to do things like this, and then it gives you, you know, you get a peek into the nowness. You know, the isness in your own way, especially if you can recognize what you've experienced.
For sure.
Well, and I mean, it just changed my perspective on everything. I mean, just that one insight of seeing all is, and then when Dwayne was talking to Charles today, I could understand everything Dwayne was saying. Before it was all mind stuff, but today I knew exactly what he was saying, because now it meant something. It wasn't just words. I knew what he was talking about today, which was a whole different level for me. So, man, I mean, just in the last few days, it's just been a fantastic increase in awareness on my part. You know, so thank you guys for all that.
Well, if facts be known, he has been much nicer. Just his whole personality has changed. So
Ooh,
you,
my personality has changed?
yeah, you. I didn't tell you that before, but I'm telling you now.
Oh, I didn't know my personality changed.
You heard it live, folks, right here.